So when did staying home become a thing?
Life isn't over at 50, so why are you acting like it is?
Let's talk about bringing back the thrill of nightlife and why putting your pants on could be the key to rediscovering yourself.
If you've been swapping exciting nights out for laundry and Netflix, this is for you.
We're going to talk about reviving nightlife and why culture, fun, and adventure don't have an expiration date, even in your 50s.
I don't know if you remember, I guess it was last year, we were doing a course, we were doing a program, and we had a group of, I think maybe 8 clients was there, and I asked the question.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I asked the question, what do you do for fun? And I remember looking around the room, and there was nothing but blank faces around the room. And so I went up to one of the participants and I said, so what do you do for fun? And I knew we were in trouble because she came back and said, what do you mean fun? So this was a person who not only was not having fun, but also didn't even know anymore what fun was.
Right.
And that's,
And I think when we get into midlife, it changes. So I think it changes and it sneaks up. So maybe our kids are empty nest, or we are in a divorce, or we're retiring, or our jobs are changing. So things are changing. So it's also, maybe that might have something to do with it. Like the things that we did for fun when we were younger are not the same as now in midlife,
Well, I think that's true, but I also think that people actually forget
That's huge.
to have fun because they used to go out in their youth and then they get all involved in their raising kids and their families and they're basically exhausted and broke. So they actually get out of the habit of going out and having fun.
Right.
Their idea of a fun night out or date night is basically to go to a restaurant,
Eating out.
collapse in a heap, completely exhausted, and you're home by 8:30 in your comfy pants.
That is.
Yeah.
And listen to this. Can I tell you about a survey?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this survey I was reading about asked 5,000 people questions about their going out habits, and 46% of the respondents said they actually dread the idea of going out and they prefer to stay home on the TV or their laptops. And that the average cutoff for this was 37 years old.
I know. That's it.
I mean, that's...
Life is basically over at 37.
What is happening? Yeah.
Right? It's really sad because one of the cool things about being Gen X and being in your midlife is that you actually don't give a damn anymore.
Right.
You have
Filters are off.
Yeah, you have confidence in yourself. You don't care what people think. Now is the time for you to go out and have amazing experiences and have fun.
Yeah.
And yet people are like, oh no, I don't go out. Go out. In fact, there's kind of a stigma when you tell people, oh yeah, I went out to a hip hop show the other night.
Right.
And they're like, you did what?
There's a stigma from the younger generation.
No, I mean, well, there is a stigma there, which we'll talk about, but there's a stigma, I think, from our own people. Like, you go out? Oh no, I don't go out.
Yeah. Like why are you doing that? How do you have time or energy?
Right.
That's a big one. Like, don't you work?
Right.
What are you doing?
But the other thing is like, but the parking. It's like, you are going to sacrifice the rest of your life because you can't find parking.
I have to do my hair. I have to do my makeup.
Exactly.
I have to put my pants on.
It's also overwhelming.
It's all so much. Yeah.
All right. Well, you mentioned that stigma from the young people, and it's true. Young people can be pretty intolerant, and it's like, who are the oldsters at the bar?
Yes.
But the great thing about being Gen X and being in my 50s, I don't give a crap what they think.
Right. We think we're cool, right? That's all that matters. Okay.
So I found this quote on a magazine. It said, "There's nothing more tragic than seeing adults in their 40s and 50s surrounded by 20-somethings in pubs and bars." Right. So that's stigmatizing right there.
Yeah.
And actually, I love going out to pubs. I'm more of a lounge guy.
Yes.
And I like to go to shows. I try and do that often, at least weekly. But here's another one which I thought was hilarious. At 46, I'm too old to be anywhere after dark. My friends and I meet on Saturdays at 4 p.m. We have a local gastropub. Well, you know this is going to be dire. We have a local gastropub where we drink wine and graze on fancy bites. We do get as drunk as we did in our 20s, but we're home in our comfy pants watching Chef's Table by 8 p.m. at the latest.
All right, well, isn't that is a night out? That is fun, and it's like girl time or guy time, would you say? Yeah. I'm not, but what we're saying, I think today is there isn't a spirit in that. It's not our younger selves. We're not growing. We're not learning. Our spirit is not involved in that.
Because it's the same old thing. You're just doing the same thing week after week after week. It's like date night, you know. There's nothing more stultifying than date night. The couple goes out and they sit in a restaurant. They don't talk to each other.
Yes.
You know, there's nothing exciting, nothing invigorating, nothing to get the blood going. Honestly.
Right.
I think we got here just in time.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the hamster wheel of staying home, because I know you've got some fairly strong opinions on that.
Well, the hamster wheel of staying home, it's like, it's keeping a home as a woman, right? It's very easy for us to get caught up in, what do I want to call that? Grounding, fluffing the pillows, like grounding down. This is my quiet time. This is me time.
Right.
But I am doing laundry in that time. Like there's, I'm keeping the house. I think a lot of women like that, or people that like to be organized like me. So, but at the same time, there's nothing in my spirit for that. Do you know what I mean? It can be the doldrums, I guess is what I'm saying. It's that constant cycling up the stairs, down the stairs, streamlining the house. I mean, it's done, Angie. You don't have to do it again and again and again.
Well, I want to say for the record here that for those people who know me, I run a tight ship at home. My place is spotless. Yes. It's tidy. Everything's where it should be. And yet I still go out 2 or 3 times a week.
Right. I know. I'm not saying I shouldn't be going out. I'm just saying it's easy for us to get caught up in being home. Yeah. And the whole homebody. I hear more people saying, I'm a homebody. Right. You don't hear that in their 20s and 30s. Right. But midlife, they're homebodies. Everybody's a homebody.
It's a badge of honor.
It is. And I will say that I do think COVID and the pandemic just brought us back into the home, and we got so comfortable in that time. I mean, it was a tough time, of course, for most of us, but we also had everything delivered. Everything got much easier into the home. We didn't have to go out at all. So I think that did make it even more comfortable.
I have a confession. I did have half a pound of bacon delivered to my door this morning. That's on record. But it's true. Like suddenly the delivery economy took off, and it seemed like, everything was like life was being streamed in at us through our TVs. Yes. And it did become very, very comfortable. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we talk about in our program is the comfort zone, and actually how it's death to be caught in the comfort zone. Yeah. It really does curtail your life to settle into the comfort zone, because you do not grow. And when you're not growing, you are actually dying. Yeah. So absolutely, the pandemic accelerated that whole home thing. But guess what, people? The pandemic is over, right? It's been over for a couple of years. Yeah. It's time to go outside. It's time to put your pants on and go outside.
Put your pants on, put your shoes on, walk out the door. It's what we're saying is not. It's simple, but we understand I like my nights at home. Yeah. So we understand it is us pushing outside of our comfort zone, and that's what going out, I think, in midlife is, because we are in midlife. We're comfortable. We've worked really hard to get here. Yeah. So, but
I think a good analogy is that nobody really likes going to the gym and working out for an hour. I mean, maybe you enjoy how you feel afterwards and so on, but we can all admit that it sometimes is very difficult to get ourselves to the gym, right? We also would like to eat cake 3 times a day, and we don't do that. Yes. So there are things that we do in life for our health, right? Yes. and not only our physical health,
Yeah.
but our mental health.
Social health, like,
Right?
Yes.
And I think that we need to add going out to that list.
Yes.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
So what's a realistic timeline? Like you're saying once a week.
I like the look on your face because you're like, it ain't happening.
I mean, I think twice a month is more my style.
All right, well,
But,
you know.
but it depends on what it is, because I do have active weekends, so I'm out during the day. So I kind of look at a day like if I go out all day, I want to be home at night. If I'm home out, if I know I'm going out at night, I'm going to be home during the day. I don't plan that. But
I'm thinking that Angie is lacking some spontaneity. It's like, I've got this whole thing planned out. If I'm out in the day, I'm not out at night. And it's only twice a week, you know. Kill me now. Talk about the hamster wheel.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty structured. That's true. But I'm thinking about what I'm currently doing in my
Right.
life. And what I'm currently doing, it seems like the cadence is twice a month. But yes, if I have a lot going on, like right now we're in the holidays, I do like all the holiday festivities, and I'm out a lot more right now. And I like it. I mean, it's fun because there's things to do. A lot.
Well, I'm here to tell you that there's things to do all year long, right? There's
Yes.
stuff happening
Yes.
all year long. And one of the ways that you can activate this whole new change in your life is by just being aware of what's happening.
Right.
Because if you make the effort to find out what's going on in your neighborhood or even in your city, you're going to be like, oh, that looks interesting.
Right.
You know, oh, that looks interesting. I never done that before. And now you'll
That's
start
really-
to be motivated, because you know what? The same way as going to the gym and taking care of your mental health, this is going to take care of a whole bunch of things. Your mental health, your spiritual health is going to keep you growing. And also, if you're in a partnership, if you're married or you have a sexy other, you know, going out and experiencing things together, that means experiencing things, not sitting down and eating a meal, right? Experiencing new things, that actually creates connection.
I mean, art galleries and concerts and local theaters and you know, things that you haven't done. I know my husband will have things that he's interested in, and I go do things that's way out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
He's in the sports world, and then I'm over here in the concert and the music, and he goes out, you know, so also like that, like you teach each other, right?
And I think that's an important point, Angie, because, you know, it's easy to say, oh yeah, that's sports, that's his thing. I don't do that. And he's like, oh no, she wants to go and see a string quartet, kill me now. But I think that, you know, just as we've spoken before about, this is a co-piloting situation, right? Where you need to both open yourself to new experiences and support each other. Because the main thing is that you're going out and you're doing stuff together, and hopefully you're doing new stuff together. Let's say you make a decision now. I want to get back into the swing of things. I want to get back into having more fun. You know,
it's a decision.
The kids have left,
Right.
right? Maybe you're single again, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's time for you to work on your relationship. But all of it points to the same thing: is we need to go out and have fun more often, right? So here's a couple of ways that you can do it. You mentioned it, you know.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Put your pants on, put your shoes on, and walk out the door.
Exactly.
Number one.
And what Angie likes to do is, of a Saturday, you'll find Angie at her favorite coffee shop, sitting there having her time, enjoying a nice cappuccino with extra froth, you know, a little biscotti. And that's the time when you can either pick up the local what's on paper. It's always nice to hold something. Or you can go online and say, what is happening? What is happening not this weekend? What is happening next weekend?
Yes.
Right? Because if you plan for something next weekend, that gives you enough time to invite some other friends to come out with you.
Yes.
And that's a big part of making it fun, right?
Right.
You'll also have the anticipation of, oh, I can't wait to go and see so-and-so, or we're going to do a comedy club, or guess what I'm doing? I'm actually going to learn how to make sushi, right? It's all of this different stuff that's going on. And if you plan a week in advance, it just makes it more fun, and it makes it more likely that you'll actually get your shit together to go out.
So getting it on the schedule. So it's one thing to sit there and say, oh, that's nice, what's going on in my town, and just put it down. What you're saying is take the next step, right? And put it on your schedule, call those 3 friends, actually make it happen. So now we've got our clothes on, we have a plan, and it's on the schedule. Good.
Absolutely. So there's another little tip that I want to share, and that is creating a fun fund. Right?
Yes, because many people will say it's too expensive. I just don't have the money.
Yeah.
So we can take if we're still using cash. I said we say cash is king. We have for so long, right? But our kids say cash is cringe. But so there's different ways. So you can do that. I know credit cards now have, when you buy, there's a percentage that goes into savings, that you can do that.
Yeah, well, there's all sorts of things. Credit cards will give you loyalty points and all of those things, and miles. But there's actually even apps that the one that I know in Canada is called Mocha, but I'm sure there's many in the US down here. But what they do is that whatever you purchase, they round up to the nearest dollar. They take that 20 cents or 18 cents or 30 cents and they put it in an account for you.
See, there you go.
And so
that can be your fun account.
And that adds up.
Your fun fund.
It really does.
Yes.
Right? So when those big tickets come up and you're like, oh, I'd love to go and see so-and-so, but geez, $300, you're like, it's okay, I got it.
And remember, just like we take care of our bodies at the gym, we take care of our mental health by going out and getting outside of the house at least twice a month. That'll be the beginning, at least.
Once a week.
You would say twice a week. Oh, once a week. Okay. Well, I can do that.
Okay. The other thing I think that we should actually mention, because I've cast a little bit of shade on going out on date night to a restaurant, and when I'm talking about going out once a week, I would like to say this does not include going to a restaurant. You can go to a restaurant and then do an activity. That's fine.
Yes.
But just going to a restaurant does not constitute going out and doing something fun and something new, because you've done it 100 million times.
And we like to find restaurants where there's jazz or where there's music, entertainment, right? Does that count? I think that would.
Jazz never counts in it for anything.
Oh, you don't like jazz. Okay. Well, some kind of music
of course.
Is nice, or sitting outside. If there's an outdoor venue, still.
This is just going to the restaurant, just because you get to sit outside. We need to be a
concert. It's not a gallery. It's not culture. We want to add culture to your life in your midlife.
And doing stuff that you don't normally do, right? That you're not doing on the daily. I actually believe that we should be actively taking risks at this point in our life, right? Now, I'm not talking about crazy risks. Right? I'm just talking about challenging yourself to do new stuff, right?
Yes.
Go new places, meet new people, do stuff you haven't done before.
Right.
That's what I mean by risks.
There's something called meetups, where you can just find things you're interested in.
Angie lives in 1997.
No, I just get emails into my inbox.
Okay, that's
For
good.
meetups, that's awesome.
There's lots of meetups.
You go and do that.
There's all sorts of apps. Even some from 2025 that will enable you to find out what's happening in your community and meet like-minded people, right? And in fact, even those dating apps often have a friend option. So now that can be a bit of a dodgy enterprise. Yeah, but you have to talk carefully with your partner.
Okay.
But there's many different ways to meet people. There's lots of people who want to go out, and there are lots of people that want to meet new people. It's just there waiting for you. You just have to take action. Angie, let's talk about how you can put together, your nightlife crew. How can you connect with, friends and even family or, people in your community to get together and go out? Because that makes it more fun, doesn't it?
It does. So it would be about sharing the things that are interesting to you. For the most part, they're probably going to be also interesting to your friend group. So to give them a call and get them to schedule, it might be a little work up front. But I think once you guys start to do this on a more regular basis, they're going to be in.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have fun.
But something I hear from people is, I'm so tired of being the one that organizes everything. I do the dinner parties, I get the tickets, I arrange for this, I arrange for that. What do you say to people that are suffering from, organizational fatigue?
What is going to be friend to help out with what is going to be that event that you're going to? I think they would. And recruit some help.
I'm happy to hear your optimism, but in my experience, if you're the person in your friend group who does the organizing, there's no point feeling resentful about it. Because if you stop doing it, nothing's going to happen. You'll never go out again. Just accept the fact that you are the activator, you are the motivator, you're the one that makes things happen. Embrace it and do what you do best, which is light up a room and make stuff happen.
Right. I mean, anytime, that's great. Yes, I agree with that. Anytime I've ever gotten kind of overwhelmed by it, because I'm pretty social, I've reached out to my closest friends and they're always great. Like they're like, tell me what to do and how to get it done.
Another thing that just occurs to me is that we actually have a mini course on houseoflittlewonders.com. You can check it out. It's a mini course called Raise Your Vibe, Attract Your People. And it's all about how to attract your people, people who lift you up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not people who drag you down, people who lift you up and take you where you want to go. And there's some great tips in that little mini course, so you can check that out.
Yes.
If I wanted to start next Saturday, give me 3 things that I can do to make this whole reviving nightlife and getting out the door happen.
Okay, Brian. Well, number 1, you're going to find that event. You're going to think about a nice outfit.
Right.
You're going to put it on your books.
Okay.
Simple.
So you're just gonna book it, set it, and invite your people.
Yeah.
So that basically means like put your pants on, put your shoes on. It's just about taking action, isn't it?
And knowing mindfully, being mindful that yes, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. This is good for me. Because what is the end game of doing nothing?
Right. Well, you just get fat and unhappy. you have nothing to say to each other. It's awful.
You stop engaging. And if you stop engaging with life, it's like you're less and less of who you really are when you were younger, maybe, or just period.
Right. You got to get back in touch with that fun, adventurous, vibrant, amazing woman that you used to be, that person that you used to be.
Right.
Okay. So make a plan, make it happen. Number 2 is buy a little piggy bank. And every time you have change, put it in the piggy bank. If you don't do cash, then get an app that rounds up your purchases and put it into a fun fund, right? So you'll always have some extra money around to go out and have some fun. I think that's a really practical tip.
Yes. And 3, I would say, really hold yourself to doing it once a week, twice a month. Like, hold yourself. If you go for 3 months, well, that energy that is going to drive you back down to not wanting to go at all. So there's a little bit of energy behind this, because the more you do it, the more you're going to want to do it. The more you exercise, the more you want to exercise. The better you eat, the better you want to eat. It's the same.
There you go.
It's the same thing.
It's the flywheel effect. You got to get the fun flywheel happening.
Yeah,
right?
and at first, it's a little hard, but you'll get over the hump.
And the last thing I'll say is plan on doing something new, okay? Do not get caught in the rut of doing the same old, going to the same places, seeing the same people. Like, make it new, make it fresh. Learn how to make sushi. Learn how to go salsa dancing. Learn how to do that axe tossing. Right? And if you're struggling with that, just imagine your mother-in-law and you'll find your aim is...
dish crashing.
Amazing. Oh, dish crashing?
Yeah, you can,
is that a
you
thing?
can go in the city. Yeah.
There you go.
And
so much to do.
Dishes at a wall. It's great.
All right. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Brian Asha.
I'm Angie DeGeronimo.
And this has been the Midlife Survival Guide. He said, she said. And today we've been talking about how to revive your nightlife and put your pants on and get out the door.
Get out the door.
We'll see you next time.